Good morning. This morning I'd like to show you how you can use RSS feeds in order to follow your students' work on their EduBlogs without visiting every individual blog. As you probably know, students can use their EduBlogs for any number of purposes, from reflecting on what's going on in your classroom to various other sorts of writing. But if you have multiple sections with many students in each, visiting each individual blog to keep track of their writing can be a little time consuming. So I'm going to show you how to use RSS in order to make your job a little bit easier. Now, the first thing you need to know is that RSS feeds, RSS stands for really simple syndication, and you can think of it sort of like a magazine subscription. You can get content from all over the internet, but instead of visiting all of those various blogs and websites and other services, you can have that content delivered to one central location. So it's sort of like a magazine subscription. So we're going to start here at a teacher, a really good teacher EduBlog, and you'll notice that the teacher has very cleverly put links to all of the student blogs on the sidebar there, which is a really great way to have quick and easy access to student blogs, but I think we can make this even easier. So if we choose one of the students and have a look, the first thing you'll notice is that on this default template, the RSS button is really prominently displayed. I'm going to show you another website with a slightly different template, and you'll notice that the button is not obvious here, but all EduBlogs have it. You just have to look around. So I'm going to scroll to the bottom, and you'll notice that down in the meta box you'll see RSS feeds for the entries. You can also subscribe to comments if you're interested. So the button is there. Sometimes you have to look around for it depending on the template the student is using, but all EduBlogs have this feature. So all you have to do is you take the RSS button and you click to subscribe. And what it'll do usually is it will take you to the address of the feed. Now, one way to subscribe to these things would be to copy the address and then flip over to Google Reader, click subscribe, paste it in, and now you've subscribed to this particular blog. And it shows you a little preview of the last few things that the student wrote. So it'll deliver some of the old content the first time you subscribe, but from here on in, it should just deliver any new writing that the student puts on the blog. The other way you can do it, of course, is click the RSS button, and instead of copying the feed, most of the time it gives you a few different options on how to subscribe. You'll notice that you can subscribe using live bookmarks if you are like a Windows Live user, or Apple Mail will handle RSS feeds. My preferred reader is Google Reader, so that's the one I'm going to select. And if you click subscribe now, it'll actually take you over to Google Reader and will do the subscription for you. So now you can see I've subscribed to 2 student blogs, and all of their content will be delivered to this central location. Now, you might be asking yourself, did I not just subscribe to all of the work that the student does on that blog? So it could be for a number of different teachers or a number of different subjects. Isn't there a way to subscribe to just the work that they do for me? And the answer to that is yes, using a little trick. EduBlogs has a function where you can either categorize or also tag work with keywords. You'll see we've got tags over here and we've got categories over here. And you notice that this student, very smartly, has already begun putting their work into categories. And this is a procedure you would have to establish with your students. So you'll notice that now we're looking at just the entries of this blog tagged as English 10. So the really cool thing you can do is you'll notice that the link up here, when we did that, is showing the website, but the link is just for the category English 10. So I can copy this link, go back to Google Reader, paste it in, and then just at the end, I'm just going to type the word feed. And what that does with EduBlogs is that creates a feed of just that category. And you can do the same thing with tags. I'll get over here and I'll show you. There's the English 9D tag, and you'll notice that it gives me a URL for just the English 9 tag. So same thing, I can copy that, go over to Google Reader, type the word feed at the end, or I can do it here and copy it. And then I can go back to Google Reader and subscribe to just that tag. So it's very easy to establish procedures with your students so that you're subscribing to just their work. While we're here, let me just show you a way that you can organize yourself even further. You don't just have to have a long list on your page of every single blog or website you subscribe to. If you come down here under your subscriptions, you can get even more organized by creating folders. So I'm going to create a folder called Section 1, for example. And then it's just a simple matter of dragging the feeds that you want in that folder. And then by clicking on the folder, you can read everything that's in that folder all at once. So this would be a great way to organize your feeds of all the students in one particular section or one particular course if you teach multiple courses. It's just another way that you can use to keep your feeds organized. So that's a really good function for teachers as well. Now, it's possible to go even further with this as well. Although I use Google Reader as my main RSS tool, I don't actually visit the Google Reader site very often except to subscribe to new feeds or to unsubscribe to feeds I don't want to read anymore. I actually use another little app. It's called Flipboard. It's available for free for both iPad and iPhone. I use that to pull in all of my Google Reader feeds, and what it does is it brings them all into my iPad and presents them in a beautiful, easy to read, sort of graphic format that's very much like reading a magazine. So you can do this too, and then at the end of the day, either at home or in the staff room or wherever you want, you can sort of sit back and read not only your student work, but all kinds of other news and current events that you've pulled from all over the internet. So RSS feeds are a really convenient way of bringing the material that you want, whether it's student work or other stuff, right into your hands, basically, and organizing it in a way that makes your life a lot easier and more streamlined. The last point I'd like to make just very, very quickly is to just get you thinking about the potential for students to use this technology in order to better organize their own lives. Obviously, if teachers are using EduBlogs, it's a very simple matter using the same procedure that I just showed you for students to subscribe to teacher blogs. Also, Strudel has RSS functions built into it for subscribing to parts of the site, like the news feed and the discussion groups. So that's a special feature that you have to turn on, so talk to me if you want to experiment with it. But students could subscribe to the Strudel pages as well. Also, similarly, different parts of Google Sites can be subscribed to via RSS feeds. So you can imagine that a student could subscribe to all of their teachers' homework feeds, whether it's on Google Sites or whether it's on Strudel or whether it's on EduBlogs, and to have all that information packaged together just to help keep their lives a little bit better organized. So think about the potential not just for teachers, but for students as well.